Okay, so at this time, you should have already have inputted the appropriate labelings for all A, B, and AB into your calculators, where once again, as a repeater, remember, I just turned it on. Where once again, the O was supposed to be 1, that we showed right here. That the A was supposed to be 3, the B was supposed to be 5, and the AB was supposed to be 7. And we did odds because of what I showed before, because we want to keep consistent grids, we could have a gap between them, consistent gap between them. And so when we're actually doing the histogram, or doing this modified histogram to get the bar graphs, we'll see this happen. Okay. So the saddest part, we're gonna look over here. This one here has no bar graph. It doesn't have a pie chart. So so we were assuming that we can't do category data on it, but actually we can. It's just how can I adjust the scales on especially on the x-axis so that I can ensure that it becomes a bar graph. Okay. And it's not just the scales in a bar graph. It's not just the scales in it. It's also your labeling as well. No, there's a reason why I did all odds, because when I scale by 1, it's going to go from 1 to 2, and therefore there's going to be a gap right here because there is no 2 in this data. It could be 0, and 3, same thing. We have a 3 with a frequency, but there's no 4 in here in this data. So therefore, so far it'll be 0. So therefore, we get the illusion that it's a bar graph, but in reality it's still a histogram. But we have the illusion of a bar graph. Okay. So this is how you can actually make a bar graph on a TI-84, okay, without having the bar graph option. Very similar to the conceal. But anyways, back over here on. So once again, how do we do it? Just regularly. If you just have data like this, and therefore how we modify after. So just for the regular data, it's already in here. So first thing first, I'm gonna go to my Windows, okay, and I should already have a good idea what my scale is supposed to be. So recall that for the Y values, we were at 0, okay, as the min, and over here we went to a max of 10, and we did a scale of 2. But once again, I don't really like the bar just to be at the bottom. I like to be, like I said, to be an axis. I like to have some space right here to do some labeling if I need to. So therefore, I'm actually going to be dropping it down -2, and it'll be going down here, so I can have some space for labeling to see these things. Okay, and the x-axis. So that's why for instance over here, I saw the Y value. I got the scale at -2 from 0, giving me -2. So this is what I'm going to use in this place. Okay, that's what's happening there. And when we're looking at the scale of x, okay, we on the min, it's pretty much based off the scale of 1. So notice our x-axis over here, we're pretty much start at 0, and we want to have space into it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, from 0, I'm going to get 1 extra over here by doing the scale of 1. So therefore 0 minus 1 gives me -1, so I know my exponential will be -1, okay? Well, my scale still sits at 1, and the max, I'm going to have it go to 10. There's going to be a little spacing over here, but it's okay, but I'm going to have it go to 10. That's what's going to happen here. That's fourth. When I get that situated, we're saying that, let me turn this back on again. So once again, x min was supposed to be, in this case, -1, so -1. The x max is supposed to be, in this case, 10, so I put 10, and the scale for the x is supposed to be 1, so I could ensure that there's a gap between the odds. Next, for the y max, I said it was supposed to be 10. That's what I want to cap it. I want the scale to be 2, so I have 2 there, but either way, if I need to, I type in 2. And one thing I got about is the min. The min, once again, it's 0 minus 2. Over here, it's 0 minus 2. So therefore, I have -2 there. So if I need to, I just type in -2. And therefore, that's good. So now I want to make sure that I'm caught upon the correct graph. So I'm gonna do, once again, I'm gonna do second, y equals to get this, the products. And I wanna make sure all the other ones are off right now. I only wanna focus on the first list, which is gonna be the data list. And then I'm gonna graph 2 next time, after, and show that we get the same graph. Okay, if from a table or just the list itself, using the same scaling. Okay, because remember I said scale is going to be important when we're graphing things. Scale is always important. So come over here, we have that on. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and enter so I could make sure that, so on over here, I'm going to do the histogram. We want to find a histogram, so I'm still choosing histogram for this one. But I'm getting from the actual data itself, so this should be list 1. So I'm going to do second 1 to get the list 1. And since it's the list itself, the frequency should be 1 in this graph. Should be 1. So now, if you have all that in, we could graph it. And notice how it looks very, very, very similar to what we have over here. The idea is not shaded. But I'm pretty sure there's an option in here that you can shading features with it. I just haven't looked into it, but you could play around with that and see how that's working. I'm here to show you how to get the bar graphs to work. And then once again, you can always trace this. So notice how there's a gap. And that's what you want. You want that gap between the bars. That's what you want. So later on in the future, if you're trying to do a compare 2, we have to make sure when we do our scaling and when we do our labeling, we ensure that the gap is occurring. That's the important thing. We have to ensure that the gap is occurring. So how we label becomes very, very important for this, because it's not categorical, so we're labeling instead. But anyways, when I do my trace and I go over here and press trace, notice how 0 is supposed to be between 0 and 1, 0. We have that. Between 1 and 2, we have our 9. Between 2 and 3, we have 0. Between 3 and 4, we have the 8, and it repeats itself. Okay? So, like I said, we're permanently okay making a histogram, but we're enforcing that the gaps between these guys are going to be 0. So I could assume my gaps. That's what we're doing here. And all we need to do when we convert over and they say this and I'm going to say capture a picture of this and cover the rest of this information. We could definitely relabel these tables here. These labels, and once again, this could be our O, this would be our A, this would be our B, and this would be our AB. Okay? So we don't have to worry about the scaling here. And over here, we're just putting what we need, which is 0. It's supposed to be based on 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And they could definitely see how it's happening. And if you want to put those values in here on top of here too, you can using a Word document. So it's a way to make it nice and make it presentable. But that's what we do in this graph. So we made it so now we can actually make it presentable, which is awesome. So there's that, and it's now mimicking what's over here. So we're good with that. So now let's go ahead and see, once again, if you do it the other way, it's going to work. So promise me, if you do the table version, it's going to work too. And I can do it real quick, and it's going to be the same graph, and it'll be red. I'll show it to you right now. Don't mind what's on the board. It's going to be kind of getting in the way, but it's okay. So I'm going to go back to the second plot, and now I'm going to turn on the second one. So now that's who's going to be on. Crap. Clear. So go back over here. Second plot. This one here, make sure it's on. It's going to still be the histogram. But once again, it's already set up over here. But remember, our list, our lead type is supposed to be list 2, and our list is the frequency is supposed to be list 3. So those guys are all on. I'm not adjusting the windows because they're already adjusted for us. I'm just showing that we get the same graph. So now you just go ahead and graph it again. Once you have list 2 and list 3 in the appropriate spots, graph it. Notice how the red just overlaps the blue. So it's consistent. I can graph it from raw data, and I can also graph it from table. It's always consistent within that. So the question is how to graph it. There it is. Bam. So now, once again, how do I get all the frequencies in here and proportionals in here? This is a recap, so I can graph the proportion or the percentage one. We're going to go ahead and go to our stats and go to our edit. last time I showed you guys how to do it outside on the equation, but you can actually do it inside here. So I'm gonna show you how you do it inside here without having to go back and forth. But once again, they both still work. So in here, I gotta have to do is that or locate highlighted. Let me bring it down a little bit. So list for highlighted in black, and now I can press enter. So as it says right here, for Shrika what? Well, we know that for in order for me to do this, once again, what we're doing here is for all these guys right here, I'm going to be dividing them by 20. So what we're really doing, if we want to do them all at the same time, I'm saying that we're going to be putting, in this region right here, we're going to be putting list 2, or list 3, I'm sorry, divided by, it's going to be 25, not 20. Divided by 25. And we're going to get that to happen. Okay. Make sure it's division operation, not the fractional one, unless you need to convert. Unless you want to convert, then that becomes your choice. But anyways, come over here. I'm going to do the permanency list. List 3 divided by 25. And there we are. Because we're going to do 25. Because when we did it earlier, we did a sum of 25. You can also do the sum through here in your calculator portion, and you find out the sum is 25. Okay, either way. So we got that out the way. And the other thing that we can also do in this list, which is pretty tight, is now we're going to go to list 5, and we should note that how do we make a proportion as percent? We should keep in mind that each of these values here, we literally multiply it by 100%. And we convert it when the decimal's over. Okay? So instead of us rewriting each one in, I could just simply call upon a list operation and it will happen. And that's what we'll do right here. I'm going to show that. So over here in this list 5, I'm going to press equal, so it's showing that it's I want to do an operation in it, a list operation, and I'm going to call upon list number 4, that's where the proportions are at, and I'm going to times it by 100. And notice how we get the exact same result as what we have over here. And I didn't have to divide them all individually or multiply by 100 to each one individually into the calculator. It was all done at the same time. Okay. Which is amazing, and how technology list operations is pretty awesome. So, we got that out the way. So, let's say, okay, Jermaine, what if I have to graph the relative frequency proportion, percentage? How would I graph it? How would I scale it? So remember, the scaling has to change because over here is 9, but if you look over here, it's now supposed to be 36. While 8 became 32, while 5 should become 20, and while, I didn't write it here, but it's supposed to be 4, 3. It should become 12. Okay. So that means that this has to be rescaled. And that means based on my grid lines here, I'm going to readjust this guy. I'm going to readjust. So once again, these guys will be rescaled. So I'm not going to worry with that. I'll just extend it where necessary. It's definitely be extended. And I'm going to rescale this y-axis. That's probably one thing I'm rescaling. I'm not rescaling in the x. But instead of writing frequency, I'm going to write relative frequency, make it nicer. Okay. And it would be percentage. So we know on this x right here should be the 0%. Then what I'm going to do here is, I want the max over here. I want that to show. So therefore, you can go 0.5 if you want. But I usually always top it up above. But 0.5 is still, 35 is still okay. Okay, we're going a little bit above. So I'm going to go here my max. I like to top it off, and I'll put here 40. And my scale can be based off 5s. And that's what we're going to be seeing. I'm going to do it over here. So we're definitely going to be seeing, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25, 30, 35, versus right above it, but let me just extend it a little further, and there's my 40. Okay. So now, all we're doing here is rescaling this. That's all I'm doing, rescaling the rectangle. So I definitely know that for the 60, for the 9, it's now going to be at 36, while 36 is just above 5. So I'm just going to extend it. Okay. And now it's rescaled. And I'm going to finish off, and we know because it's 36% right here. I repeat the process for all of them. 8 should now be 32, while 32 is probably still above over here. So I'm looking at it coming at somewhere in this region right here. So I'm just going to extend it. And we have that shaded in. And we know this is your 32%er. Next, we have the 20%er. Well, 20 is on this grid line, so we know it's gonna go this high. So I'm just re-extending it. That's all I'm doing. Okay, I'm giving it a new scale. But notice how the shape of the graph is not changing too much. It's not changing at all. It's just the scale that's changing. And lastly, over here, same thing's gonna happen. Over here is supposed to be 12, so it's 2 above 10, so about right there. So I'm gonna put it at the same spot. And I have now rescaled and graphed the relative frequency percentage. Okay. So all we're seeing here is when I choose that on my calculator to have it graphable, all I'm doing here is I'm going to choose, once again, this right here was actually became list 4, but this right here became list 5. So I'm probably going to be using list 3 again, but it's, I'm sorry, not list 3, list 2 again, but I'm using list 5. And I have to readjust scaling. That's what I need to do, readjust scaling. And I'll do over here real quick, the scaling to what we just did. All we did this for this guy here is, instead of making the max 10, it is now going to become, I lost it, but it's going to become 40. Instead of having the scale 2, it should become 5. And over here, instead of minusing 2 from it, I'm minus 5 from it, so it's going to end up becoming negative 5. Okay? So let me just go ahead and erase what's right here, so we can see it happen. And you can see how the scaling will change, just right there. And this guy's going to be now based off 40s instead of 240 instead of to the 10. But let's just let's do this real quick. And now we have graph 3, but I have to turn off all the other graphs. What I'll do, I'll keep the other graphs on so you can see how it got rescaled. But the graph, I think which will be black, is the one that we're looking at. So let me just go ahead and do this. I'll turn on, on. And now, first I'm going to readjust the scales. So X-min are not going to change. What's changing is its Y values. So therefore we're looking at negative 5 for the Y-min. Max 40 with the scale, of 40 with the scale of 5. Okay, so we got that in. And now I'm going to go to my second stat plot. I'm going to turn on the last graph, turn it on. It's still a histogram, but instead of it being 2 and 3, it's going to be 2 versus compared with 5. So over here we put this 5. Second 5. And it's going to be in black. So now when I graph it, we can see the scale happen. So let me go ahead and graph. And clearly see how this got rescaled. We still have our old AB. This right here was your original frequency, and now this is our new relative frequency in proportions. And all you do is hide this one later on, don't show them, and this will be the one you can be using to represent your grid for the proportions, relative frequency percentages instead. Okay? And the labeling this comes in after you convert out, you can relabel these guys. It's really wonderful. Just when you're doing any type of snapshots, just don't have trace on. Okay, notice how that's when I trace on, and you also had this guy in prods. This looks nicer. So I could get this one and I could just move it, capture an image of it and take it to my computer. and that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's it for the graphing calculator. But you're gonna find out once again that when we try to do the pie chart, this one can't do it. So you have to, if you're gonna be doing a pie chart, you're gonna have to do it by hand, or use a different technology, which is, I would say, or have a classmate who has a Castillo or a Inspire go ahead and draft it. They'll put a pie chart. Okay. When it comes down to it. But once again, it's by hand, do it by hand. So, that's that. Oh, I went the wrong way. Yeah. And thank you.